Hello students and welcome to this lecture. In this lecture, we shall be creating a simple calculator in Python. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to import the tkinter. So I'm going to say from tkinter import all. And I'm going to create a window equal to tk. Next, I'm going to reference the window and create a title for our calculator. So I'm going to say window equal to window dot title. And then inside the parentheses, I'm going to enter title calculator. Next, I'm going to specify our geometry. So I'm going to say window dot geometry. And inside the parentheses, I'm going to create a width of 300 by 350. After that, I'm going to create our first frame. So I'm going to create a variable frame1 equal to the frame method. And then inside the parentheses, I'm going to enter the first parameter, and it's going to be window. That's because I'm creating the frame on top of the window. So it's like a layer on top of the Windows layer. After the window, I'm going to enter a width equal to 300, height equal to 30. Next is the border equal to 4, relief equal to, in quote, I'm going to use raise, and this will add a kind of styling to the frame. And after that, I'm going to reference frame1 dot back, and then side will be equal to top in capital letter. Then I'm going to copy this to create the second frame. So let's call it frame 2, and then the side will be bottom. Then the height, since we have 350, so the height is going to be 300. So to test this, I'm going to call the main loop. So I will say window dot main loop. So let's save this file. Let's save this file as simple_calculator. Next, we're going to run this file. And here we have it. We have the first frame and the second frame. So in the next lecture, we shall be creating a text box. See you in the next lecture. Hello students, and welcome to this lecture. So in this lecture, we shall continue with our calculator by creating a text box. So underneath the frame 2, I'm going to create a variable. Let's say text display, txt display, and this will be equal to entry and the text display is going to be on top of the frame 1. So it's like a layer on top of frame 1 and not frame 2. So I'm going to enter frame 1 as the first parameter. Next, I'm going to enter a font equal to, and inside the parentheses, in quotes, I will enter the name of the font. Let's say Arial, comma, next is the font size. So let's set it to 18, comma, and then I want to make it bold in quote. Next is the width, and let's give it a width of 20, and the border will be equal to 4. Next is justify, equal to, and it's going to be on the right. After that, I'm going to reference the txt display dot grid. Now I'm using the grid instead of pack. So I want to position the row on 0, comma, and then the column will be on position 0 too. So let's save this file and run module. And here we have our text box. Thank you for watching, and in the next lecture, we shall be creating our buttons. Hello students, and welcome to this lecture. In this lecture, we shall be creating our buttons for our simple calculator. So just below the text display, I'm going to enter the first button, and let's just call it BTN 7. This will be equal to button, and remember the button is going to reside on top of the frame 2. So the first parameter is going to be frame 2. And after that, I'm going to enter a pad x, padding in the x-axis, and this will equal to 16, and then padding in the y-axis, and this will be 1. Remember, these are numbers. They don't need to be in quotes. So comma. Next, I'm going to enter a border of 4. Then foreground will be equal to, in quotes, black. After that, I'm going to enter a font. So let's just copy the font that we have here. I'm going to change this to 16, comma, and after that is the width, and this will equal to 2. Then height will be equal to 2, and finally the text will be equal to 7 in quotes. Then all of these will be dot the grid method, and for this button is going to be on row 0, and then the colon will be on row 02. So before we continue, let's just save this file and see how it looks. And here we have it. So now I'm going to copy this and create for the rest of the button. I'm going to paste it many times. Okay, that's that for now. So on my first row, I want to have 7, 8, and 9. So this is going to be 8. And then the text will be 8. And this is going to be 9. And then the text will be 9 also. So I'm going to give a space, and let's name this to our first row. So button 7 is going to be on the first row, which is 0, and then on the first column also. Then button 8 will still be on the first row, but on the second column. Also on the first row, and this will be on the third column. So in tkinter, first columns or row usually start from 0. So this is the first column, the second column, and the third column. So I'm going to scroll down and then create for our second row. So on the second row, I should have the first button is going to be 4, and then the text here will be 4, followed by 5, and the text here will be 5, followed by 6, and the text here will be 6. I'm going to give a space, and then the second row should be 1. All of these are in the second row. And then 4 will be on the first column, and this will be on the second column, and this will be on the third column. Next, I'm going to create for our third row. And here it's going to be 1, and our text should be 1. Then button 2, and our text should be 2. And then button 3, and our text should be 3. And the rows are the third row, so we should have 2, 2, and 2. Then the column, the first column, and this should be the second column, and this should be the third column. So let's just save this file and run module. And here we have it. So next, we are going to create our operators, and our operators are going to be on this column. Here we have the first row, the second row, the third row, the fourth row, and so on. The first column, second column, third column, and so on. So our first operator, so I'm going to copy this and then paste. So our first operator is going to be plus. Let's just say addition, and the text here will be plus, still on the first row, but now on the fourth column. And after that, I'm going to create another operator, and this is going to be sub for subtraction, and then this will be minus on the first row, and then this should be on the fourth column. After that, I'm going to create another button, and this should be for multiplication. So let's just say more, and this should be on the third row and fourth column. So let's save this file and run module. And here we have it. Here we have it. So next, we are going to create the last row, which is going to be 0, clear, equal to, and division. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy the whole of this and create our fourth row. Our fourth row. So the first button is going to be btn 0, and the text here should be 0. And the second button is going to be clear, and the text should be C. and the next button should be equal to, and here should be equal to, and here should be the division. I'm going to give it this, and after that this is going to be on the fourth row, all of this. The columns are correct. So let's save this file and run module. And here we have it. But you notice that the calculator is resizable. So I don't want this. I don't want it to be resizable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say window dot resize the resizable. And then I'm going to say 0, 0. So let's save this file and run module. And as you can see, it's no longer resizable. So thank you for watching. In the next lecture, we shall be creating some functionalities for our simple calculator. Thank you for watching and see you in the next lecture. Hello students, and welcome to this lecture. In this lecture, we shall be writing some functions. So just below the frame 2, I'm going to write some functions. So let's make some separation. So what is the first function going to do? So the first function, I'm going to call it btn underscore click. And this function will update the input field. Whenever you enter a text. So I'm going to define a function using the def keyword, then btn underscore click. And this function is going to take a parameter of value, some values. Then I'm going to make a global expression. Next, I'm going to say expression equal to expression plus string of the value. And I'm going to call a variable input underscore text dot set to expression. So I'll set it to expression. Next, I'm going to create another function. And this function, I'm going to call it btn clear underscore clear. So this function clears the input field. So I'll say diff btn underscore clear. And I'm still going to make a global expression. So let's just copy this. Next, I'm going to set the expression to empty, equal to empty. Then I'll call the input underscore text. Then set it to empty. Next, I'm going to create another function, and this function, I'm going to call it btn underscore echo. This function calculates the expression in the input field. So I'm going to say diff btn echo underscore echo. And I'm going to set the global expression. Next, I'm going to create a variable called result, and this will be equal to a string. And inside the parentheses, I will call the eval function, which is evaluate, eval. And inside it, I'm going to pass in expression. You can decide to create your own function for evaluation. But for this, I'm going to use the eval function. Next, I'm going to call the input text and set it to result. Dot set result. After that, expression will be equal to an empty string. Expression by default will equal to empty. Then input underscore text will be equal to string var. And this, let me make a comment. This is used to get the instance of the input field. This is used to get instance of the input field. So that is it for now. In the next lecture, we shall be creating some Lambda functions in our buttons. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next lecture. Hello student, and welcome to this lecture. In this lecture, we shall be completing our simple calculator by creating some Lambda functions. So what we are going to do, we are going to scroll down to the button, and just after the text I'm going to add a comma and then say command equal to lambda, then a colon, and then I'm going to enter this function. So let's just copy it and then come down to this. Just after the colon I'm going to paste. So I'm going to enter a value of 7. Since our text is 7, then the value is going to be passed on to this argument. So I'm going to copy this for the rest of the button. And then this I'm going to change it to 8. And change this to 9. And then I'm going to add this also. And then this is going to be in quotes with the plus symbol. And then change this to 4. Also change this to 5. And this to 6. Then this will be in quotes. And I'm going to add the minus symbol. The same thing for this. Then I'm going to change their values. This is going to be 1. It's going to be 2. And this is going to be 3. And in quotes, this is going to be multiplication. And then for 0, I'm going to do the same thing and change this to 0. I'm not going to do this for clear and btn equal because there are functions for it. I'm going to do this for division. And then in quotes, so for the btn clear and btn equal, we have functions for that. So I'm going to copy this for btn clear and then come down to btn clear. So just right after the text, I'm going to say command equal to btn clear, just like this. And then I'm going to go back and copy for btn equal. Btn equal to command equal to btn equal. So finally we are going to enter a variable. Let's say text variable, and this will be equal to this. Then a comma. So let's save this file and run module. So here we have our calculator and let's test it. 2 multiplied by 3. Wow, and here we have it. 6 minus 2. Here we have it. We have 6 minus 9. And here we have it. Sorry. We have our clear. 5 minus 6. And here we have it. So we are done creating our simple calculator using tkinter. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next lecture.